Amy, what is our first main topic today?
Our first email comes from Reed Mitchell, who says, "Hi, John and crew. So I finally got around to watching Lightyear because my girlfriend wanted to see it. It wasn't bad, actually, but it wasn't great either. I was a bit confused about the whole movie since I never really understood what it was supposed to be. Wondering if you heard even Tom Hanks is now joining the conversation, saying he just didn't understand why Tim Allen wasn't allowed to be Buzz for his own movie. Did you read his comments? And if so, what do you think of them?"
All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, Reed Mitchell. And listen, when a Pixar movie underperforms, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
And when it's a Pixar movie that is associated with one of their their absolute most celebrated IP, that makes it even a bigger story. And people will start to come out of the woodwork and put in their 2 cents worth. I mean, we talked about last week, Tim Allen himself came out and said, I mean, it's a nice story, but it has nothing to do with Buzz Lightyear, and it has no connection to Toy Story. And I just kind of wish it had more of a connection there. Well, now, America's dad has come out and actually started to throw in his 2 cents about the whole thing, as Tom Hanks is now weighing in on the whole situation about Lightyear, maybe some of the missteps they had. This is what they said. This comes to us from the folks over at the Hollywood Reporter, who said the following. The star, Tom Hanks, was asked whether it would feel strange to compete in theaters opposite a Buzz film, because of course he has the Elvis film out. "How about that?" Hanks replied, appearing to be a bit befuddled about the situation. "Actually, I wanted to go head to head with Tim Allen, and they didn't let Tim Allen do it. I don't understand that." When the interviewer implied that Evans is a big name at the moment, Hanks responded, yeah, I know. The actor then added diplomatically, "But here's the thing, just as long as people come back to the motion picture theater, I want to go back into the theater with a bunch of strangers and leave with something in common." I love that phrase. I want to go into a theater with a bunch of strangers and leave with something in common. That's what I want to do. And that, of course, comes to us from the Hollywood Reporter. Look, there were a couple of things that were in the discussion circle when it came to Lightyear. What the person who wrote in the email kind of pointed one out that we said from the beginning. It's like, what is this movie? Right? Now, when I saw the first half hour of it, I'm like, this is going to be Best Picture of the Year. And then I saw the movie and saw the second 2 acts, and they didn't quite live up to. I still like, don't get me wrong, I like the movie. I do. I like it. But the second 2 acts don't live up to the brilliance of the first act, unfortunately. But from the beginning, we were asking the question, why are they doing this movie? What is this movie? How is this Buzz Lightyear? And of course, we heard Tim Allen talk about that. But one of the things that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, it never bothered me, but one of the things that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way was the fact that Tim Allen wasn't doing the voice. If it's Buzz, it's Buzz. Now, to me, I'm like, whatever, this is a different version of Buzz. I'm fine with it. But a lot of people were like, listen, you're doing Buzz Lightyear because you're trying to cash in on the nostalgia factor. Well, guess what? A big part of that nostalgia is that Buzz Lightyear is Tim Allen, is Buzz Lightyear is Tim Allen. And if you're not going to have, so when even Tom Hanks, who never says a negative thing, is going to come out and say, yeah, why didn't they let Tim Allen do this? Why didn't they let him do it? Like, if you know he's saying that publicly, oh my God, what's he saying privately? So listen, for me, straight up, not a big deal that it wasn't the voice of Tim Allen. But clearly for a lot of people, including Tom Hanks, it was. I don't know that you can point to that and say, that's why people didn't go to the theater to see. I honestly think it had a hell of a lot more to do with the fact that people never understood what it even was, what the movie was supposed to be. It clearly wasn't a Toy Story movie, whatever. But anyway, Rob, you hear Tom Hanks now coming out and saying stuff about this. What do you think about his comments?
Well, I think that there's a lot to that. I mean, clearly, when we saw the film, the first 30 minutes, I kind of was delighted by the whole thing. I'm like, this is really good. You know, I really enjoyed it. I had an emotional response to it. But upon
a lot of tears in the theater.
A lot of tears. Upon further reflection, though, and after talking to people about it, it was pointed out to me, like, there's no way this is the movie that
young
Andy saw in 1995. And the fact that the actual toys themselves in this Toy Story franchise are toys like John Lasseter would have had when he was a boy, like in the 60s. And I started to realize, okay, so maybe this movie was too clever for its own good. And what it needed, first and foremost, for the general public, for people that wouldn't even spend as much time contemplating the realities of this film as perhaps I did, the meta nature of it all, and maybe this is what he saw. Tim Allen is Buzz. Like, I mean, I know Patrick Warburton voiced him in the TV series that you can't even see anymore.
Yeah, but nobody even remembers that. So
Nobody remembers that.
which kind of speaks to the point. I think.
Absolutely. And it's just kind of weird in a way. And by the way, I loved Chris Evans' performance. I really did. But most people are like, it's Tim Allen. Now, like you said, would that have made a difference? I don't know if it would have made a difference, to be honest.
Maybe a small one.
Maybe a small one. At least we would have been having these conversations. Tom Hanks would have been like, I hope my friend gets paid. You know, and I mean, it would have been, that would have been great. You would have seen Tim Allen do it. And the question then begs to be asked, why didn't he do it? You know, and we haven't asked that. Was it a political issue? Did they feel it was part of the story? I don't know. But upon further reflection, I think that it is kind of weird that he didn't. I used to not think that way.
You know what I always say about the movies, right? Winning cures everything.
Yeah.
Here's the funny thing. Had the second 2 acts of Lightyear been as good as the first, none of us would be talking about this.
Right.
Nobody would talking about why wasn't it Tim Allen, and how doesn't it make any sense that what's his name isn't the other guy's father, and none of us would be talking about that, because when you make a great film, everybody forgets about all those things.
Yeah,
right?
no, it wouldn't have mattered.
But when you make a film that doesn't live up to that, then all of a sudden these sorts of issues get highlighted a lot more. We want to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, Manscaped. Now, guys, you know I love Manscaped. You've heard me go on and on about the Lawnmower 4.0 and that body wash. I love it so much. And so we got to ask, guys, have you started your spring cleaning yet? The carpets need cleaning, the drapes need dusting, and your lawn needs mowing, gentlemen. And you guys know Manscaped is more than just one product. They have a whole lineup of products to help you guys feeling, smelling, and looking your best. And so Manscaped is proud to present to you the Performance Package 4.0, which is the only tool that you need to keep your boys looking, smelling, and feeling good this spring. Now, to start off with, you get the Lawnmower 4.0. Guys, we have talked about this. What is wrong with us? Why have we for so long been using these terrible tools that were never meant for cutting our hair down there? The razor clipper things on our electric razors. That's barbaric, guys. You need the Lawnmower 4.0. And then there's the Weed Whacker. You guys have heard our own Ray Ora talk about this thing. He loves using it to get that hair in your nose and the ear hair. And then they offer lots of other stuff like the Crop Preserver. It's an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. The Crop Reviver. It's a spray-on toner for your balls. And of course, they've got the perfect grooming tool for your face with the Plow 2.0, the perfect razor for the finest shave on that face. So guys, get 20% off plus free shipping with the code CAMPEA. That's CAMPEA at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the promo code Campea at manscaped.com. It's time to throw out your old hygiene habits and upgrade your life. Anyway, Amy, you were hearing Tom Hanks is saying, I don't get why they didn't let Tim Allen do this. What do you think about his comments?
First of all, leave it to Tom Hanks to end that on just the classiest. Like
Yeah.
I do. I love that. Just like swinging around to be like, hey, but filmmaking, am I right? Like, yeah. That said, I'm going to be honest. I'm a huge Pixar fan. Like that is ingrained in my DNA. Like I grew up with the Toy Story movies. I haven't seen this yet. I don't care that much because first of all, if I'm being honest, Tim Allen or not, Buzz is not my favorite character in the franchise,
Right.
at least not as a standalone. I love him when he's playing off of Woody in the movies. They're a great buddy kind of comedy dynamic. He's not the character I really needed to see more of.
Now, that's an interesting comment to me because maybe you're not the only one.
Yeah, I think he's one that sells a lot of toys. And I think that for me as a diehard Pixar fan, it's like, I went with you for Toy Story 4. Against all odds, you pulled that off and it worked for me.
Yeah.
Like, to me, to start going, how else can we sell Buzz Lightyear toys and make the new generation want? It just starts feeling a little cash grabby more than we really had a story to tell. Honestly, I wonder if this movie wouldn't have done better had they just made a fantastic standalone, like Pixar's doing a sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
And,
That's
and you didn't
interesting.
tie it in, and you didn't have people going, I don't understand what this is. I'm kind of burnt out on Toy Story. It feels like a cash grab. There's the whole weird thing with Tim Allen. Had you just gotten Chris Evans to go, we're going to make kind of just a really fun, like sci-fi space adventure, I think, and going, great, it's the first Pixar movie back in theaters since the pandemic. I think I probably would have been first in line to see it, but the weirdness and the meta-ness and the confusingness, it kind of turned me off.
We did talk about that before, that in some aspects it almost kind of felt like this was one of the 5,000 scripts sitting on a shelf somewhere. And some said, well, what if we took that script and put a Buzz Lightyear skin on it?
Yeah.
And then and that's kind of how it came across, I suppose.
That's interesting. I know that could very well be true.
I mean, we've seen other franchises do that too. We've heard of other franchises go.
The Die Hard franchise is famous for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just wanted to add to what she said. All I wanted to see, I didn't want to see Buzz. I just wanted to see the Pixar version of space.
Yeah, their
all those
quality
shots
of
where they were out there were cool. I mean, and they didn't do enough of it. They were always on a.
I think that's a great point. Also, this is the first animated film they did, and they formatted it for IMAX. I mean, there was, from a technical standpoint, this movie is beautiful. They did a wonderful job. They spared no expense, and I did love seeing this movie in a large format theater. And
Yeah, like I said, I like the movie. I
did too. I did too. I liked it, but like you said, we were really blown away by that first 30 minutes.
Yes. Yeah.
And I kind of wish that I didn't see the rest of it.
I kind of wish that too.
You know, I mean, if I walked away like Lightyear was the greatest movie I ever saw, you know.
All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think of this? Tom Hanks is now coming out and saying kind of critical things about life. Like, yeah, why didn't they let Tim Allen do it? Anyway, guys, what do you make of that? Jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.